funny.
I think it's important for us to talk about what's happened in the last couple of weeks. I mean, we've gone now on several listing appointments, Craig and I,
Right.
you and I, we've gone on listing appointments where we did a lot of research and we figured out what numbers would best match the market. In fact, Reagan always says numbers don't lie. And we have either had to tell the sellers that we're not a good fit, or they've told us we're not a good fit because their sales numbers are pretty aspirational. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think when you say we're not a good fit, like it's because the numbers don't match.
Right.
The reality of what they think of the market and what the true reality is, there's a gap. And that's what we're helping them bridge. But sometimes they don't want to hear that.
And that's the hard part about this market, right?
Yeah, there's kind of the saying the sellers think it's 2022 and the buyers think it's 2008.
Yes.
And so there's a big adjustment that's happening as people start to reconcile to what the new market is.
And Craig, you just told what's the average days on market right now? We're at the end of October 2025.
Yeah. So Adam, I think we were just talking, the average days on market are now 90 days in
90
Santa Fe
days.
County.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, during COVID, things were on the market for about 3 minutes.
Right.
Right.
So, but, what we have to remember is 60 to 90 days is actually normal in a normal market.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You've said that before,
yeah,
right?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, in the day, we wouldn't have taken listings that didn't have, we would have expected it to be 6 months, in a more normalized market. But that's a re-education, right? That's what we've got to do. And that's what we've been doing at a high level, I feel like, as of late with our listing presentations. And those numbers aren't as attractive to the sellers.
And I think the other thing that we've had a hard time with is that sellers, because they think it's still that 2022, 2023 market, they feel like they can kind of dictate.
Right. I mean, the truth is the market has shifted. It has happened.
Yes.
And the best approach is really to present the facts, the numbers, because there's power in that.
Yeah.
Versus, oh, maybe it's this or maybe it's that. Or
Right.
And sellers, unfortunately, in the last 3 to 5 years, we have become somewhat spoiled because it's been such an advantageous market for sellers. And so that shift can be a bitter pill to swallow for some of our clients, but the truth and facts helps.
But the good news is that when we look at the stats for Santa Fe, like year September versus last September, if you're priced appropriately, I mean, you're still getting anywhere from 95 to 100% of asking price. So there's no fire sale going on out there for sellers, but you just have to be more realistic in terms of how you're pricing.
Much more patient. And what was the statistic we just saw about price reductions? 20 to 25%?
Yeah, about 25%.
Yeah.
So yesterday I showed about 9 homes to a buyer, and it was very obvious the homes that were priced right and the homes that were priced wrong, and seeing them in person and seeing the days on market. And the home that we're choosing to make an offer on is one that's been on the market 2 days, and we're making an offer. And so we're making that offer because it's priced right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you can see it in real time right now, like the houses that have the extended days on market. You can tell that price is not in alignment, because to your point, the stuff priced right goes quick.
And the other thing is that what's presented correctly. I mean, I know that we've all shown a couple of houses in the last couple of weeks that are not clean,
Yes,
not well presented, photographed poorly. I mean, this is a market where if you're a seller, you got to get it right.
Yeah. Well, and even more so than ever, although it's really always true, doing things like spending a little bit of money to stage your house appropriately. The stats show that houses sell faster and for a better price. And so,
Absolutely.
Your house should always look like your mother-in-law's about to come over or your grandmother.
That's a good way to put it.
Well, definitely in that market, if you want top dollar, you got to bring the top condition, right? So that means all your repairs are done, all your maintenance is done, all your updates, your staging. To your point. Yeah.
We've had really good luck with getting properties painted.
Yes.
I mean, people don't think about it, but if you've lived in your home, in fact, I just got in touch with a client recently who's going to list in the spring. And I said, hang on, get everything out of the house and then let's do the touch up. If you've lived in your house for more than 4 or 5 years, you're going to need some cleaning up.
The top homes I viewed yesterday were all newly painted.
Nice.
It makes a huge difference when you walk in.
And it's not a terribly expensive.
It's not terribly expensive.
Yeah.
And, one of the things we were talking about, when going on listing appointments, I think the worst disservice we can do for a client is, as you said, aspirational pricing. If they say, oh, I'd really like to get X, but you know that it's not realistic that they're going to get X, the worst thing you can do is like, oh, sure, well, let's put it on the market and see what happens, because the reality is it will sit there and then you'll have to do a price adjustment and maybe another price adjustment. And then people start to wonder what's wrong with that house.
Yeah. And then you start chasing the market, right? And then ultimately you could get them less money in the long run than if you price it right in the beginning, get the house sold, which is always our goal, right?
So you say this great thing about getting ahead of everything else in the market.
Yeah.
What is that?
I always like to think of like, let's position your home to be the next to sell. And we do that by being competitive with the pricing, getting the condition right, making sure it's presented well, and market the heck out of it. And then we're the next one to go. You're the next one to sell. And that's what I always think of that.
So if you all were to tell a seller one piece of information to help them successfully sell their home, what would that be?
Well, first is presentation. I mean, you're not going to get any sort of a price unless you present well. Clean it, declutter, do a staging consult, even if your furniture is going to stay in the house, because a stager is going to be able to tell you what will work. And I'm going to say half the time, the stager is going to say, your stuff's got to go.
Or they may say, let's remove these things.
And do a combo.
Of things. Yeah. And as you said, decluttering is, it's like we may think all our tchotchkes are cute, but people want to see a nice, clean house so they can imagine themselves being in the house.
In fact, one thing that I tell sellers is go online and look at the houses that are appealing to you in your price range, because you're going to see what's presenting best.
So you think presentation. Craig, what's your one point?
Well, I think, being really realistic about pricing. So, it's our job to present you with all the statistics, but it's great if you do your own homework too. You have a certain number in mind, and, but, look at things on Zillow, other types of things to see how things are priced so that you're realistic about what you think or what we know your home will sell for.
Yeah.
To piggyback on Craig's a little bit, when you're looking at those pricing, look at the condition, look at that house, look what your competition is.
Yeah.
So if you think you're in a certain price point, check out all your competition, because that's what you'll be up against. So it gives you a really good feeling of if it's priced according, appropriately. So I love for the seller to know what they're up against.
Yeah, those were all good. I think for me, it's have a heart-to-heart about your priorities. Is your priorities as much money as you can possibly get? Then maybe now is not the right time to list your home. Or maybe your priority is to move out of state. Then that's going to trump perhaps how much cash you get out of your home. So having that heart-to-heart, really understanding what your priority is, will really help a seller.
And can I just say, if you're talking to us, you should know that given our combined years in the business, we are the experts. I mean, we're not going to lead our clients astray.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Pay attention to your realtor.
And call your mother.
I like that one.